In this video, which is a continuation from the previous in which we created an SSL request, we're now going to process the reply to that request, and we're going to deal with installing the certificate on our server. Now, the first thing that happens after the request has gone through is that the approver, which is admin at your domain name, will receive an email from the certificate issuer to make sure that everything is absolutely in order. Okay, just to make sure that it is a legitimate order. So we've received this from the certificate issuer, and it's asking us to follow the link and to make sure that we do approve it. So let's just do that right now. It gives us all the details that we put into our original request, and we simply click I approve. So there we are, the order has been successfully approved. The next thing that will happen is that we will receive a fulfillment email, and that will contain the certificate that we need to install onto the server. So that'll just be a few minutes until that comes back, and when it does, we'll pick up this video once more. So time has passed, about 20 minutes if the truth be told, and we've received what's called our fulfillment email from our certificate provider. Now, in that fulfillment email we got a block of text which was almost entirely similar in structure to the request that we sent to them. What I've done is I've copied that information into this new file, and you'll notice how I've named it exactly the same, except for the addition of CER, which stands for certificate, before the file extension. The reason that was done is because you can edit a TXT file very simply in Notepad. You cannot do the same with a CER. So it's purely done as a matter of convenience after having done a few of them. If we look inside the file, and some of this will be blanked out on your video for obvious reasons, but that's what the certificate issuing authority returned to us. So now that I've managed to get that into the file, what I can do is take that .txt off, and that will therefore become a security certificate, as it says there. So now we go back into IIS and back into our main computer node here, back down to our server certificates, and what we're going to do here is we are going to complete the certificate request. Okay. So now it's asking us for the file, so we're going to point it at the CER file that we have just created. There it is. And it's going to ask us for a friendly name here. Now, it's very important, this friendly name field. It doesn't do anything to the certificate. The certificate is issued regardless of what you put in here. But if you're going to renew this certificate on a yearly basis, which you will have to, you need to be able to make sure you can differentiate from this year to next year to the year after. So you'll be very wise to put not only the URL in this box but also the year, and I will show you a little bit later on why that becomes important. But so for the moment we'll do that. There we are, expeedhosting.com.au 2012, and we hit OK. So processing takes place, and here we find that the certificate has been added. Let's make that a bit wider. The certificate has now been added. But all that's done is put the certificate on the server. It has not attached it to the website. So now we need to attach it to the website via the bindings. So if we go into our website here, and we go over to the right and we select bindings, we can see firstly we've got it attached to an IP address, which is good, and we've got our www and we've got our non-www. We know that for this we're using the non-www version, but it doesn't really matter much. So we're going to say add. So here we are in the familiar add bindings page, and we're going to change this to HTTPS, like so, which provokes the showing of the SSL certificate drop down at the bottom. Now this is where the friendly name that we chose before with the year becomes important, because we need to select our certificate from the list. This is our one here, identified by 2012. If they were all just showing the domain name, then each of them would be listed, okay, and they would all show exactly the same data in the drop down box, and they're in no specific order. So you need to make sure that the year is on there so you can easily identify the one you want. And you simply click it and click OK. And here we are. Now it's added the SSL binding for us. So you put it on a star IP address. Really doesn't make much difference in this instance. We've only got one site on there. But that is it now bound. So if we go back to our original page, here we are, this is our website that we've been testing with, and we refresh that, this is our non-SSL version. We should now be able to put in the S here and get an SSL version. And what we can do now is click our little padlock here. We can say fine, it's registered to Expeed hosting, that is us. We can now view the certificate and see that this is now a valid certificate, valid for 1 year from today. We can go through and we can see all the bits and pieces that we put into our original request in the previous video. And here you can look through those to your heart's content, but suffice to say that it is actually now valid and installed, and that's all you need to do. So that's how you install the response of an SSL request.